Hello and welcome to all. So today's our topic is magnetic field due to electric current. We are familiar with these words, magnetic field and electric field. So let us start now. Magnetic fields due to electric current. Today we are doing the introduction of this particular topic. We all are familiar with this diagram. As you can make out, there is a straight conductor carrying current I and a cardboard is kept so that the conductor passes through the center of the cardboard. Now, if we place few iron filings on the cardboard and slightly tap it, we'll see that the iron filings will arrange themselves in the concentric circles. This shows that whenever current passes through a conductor, magnetic field is created in the surrounding region. And the direction of the magnetic field we can find by right hand rule. We have to hold the conductor in the right hand so that the thumb points in the direction of current, then the curled fingers gives direction of the magnetic field. So let us study all these things in detail. There are two different types of interactions, electric interaction and magnetic interaction. So let us first study the electric interaction. We know the concept of electric charge and we have two different types of charges, positive and negative. Like charges repel and unlike charges attract. When a charge is placed near another charge, what happens? There is a force of repulsion or attraction depending upon what type of charge it is. So, when we take a single electric charge Q, what does it do? It creates a field in the surrounding region which we call electric field. That means any charge is capable of producing an electric field in the surrounding region. Now, once the field is created, if any other charge comes within that electric field, then it will experience a force and that we'll call electric force. That means electric charge creates field and field exert force on another charge if it is within the electric field. So this is how the electric interaction take place. If only electric field is acting on a particular charge, then the charge will experience a force and that force is given by F is equal to Q into E. We get this formula by definition of electric field. Electric field basically is a force experienced by unit positive charge placed at a given point in the electric field. That means E is equal to F by Q. And that's how we get the force is equal to Q into E. That means whenever a charge is kept in the electric field, it will experience a force. Now, if it is a positive charge, the force will be plus Q into E. If it is a negative charge like electron, then it is minus E into E. Now we can also make out from the formula that the force is not dependent upon velocity of the charge. So there is no term of velocity in this formula. Also, whenever a charge is kept in the electric field, the speed of the charge particle will change. So that field can either increase or decrease the speed of the charge particle depending upon the direction of the electric field and magnitude and sign of the charge. Another type of interaction is magnetic interaction. So let us perform a small experiment for that. This is a current carrying conductor. The value of the current through this conductor is I and it is moving in the upward direction. Let us take one charge Q at a certain distance R from the conductor. This charge is not moving. That means its speed is zero, velocity is zero. What happens on this particular charge? Whether it will experience a force or not? We can find out that, and our result is there is no force acting on the charge q. Let us arrange them in this way. Again, the same conductor carrying same current. Charge q is again placed at the same distance, but now this charge is moving with some velocity v in a particular direction as shown. It is observed that this charge q will experience a force. So force will act on this electric charge. We know the direction of the magnetic field at the point where charge q is kept. What will be its direction? You hold the conductor in the right hand, thumb in the direction of the current, then fingers will give you direction of the magnetic field at a given point. So if you apply this rule in the second diagram, at the point where charge q is kept, the direction of the magnetic field will be inside the plane of the paper. That means the magnetic field is produced by a current in a given conductor. Moving a charge q, if a charge is moving with velocity v, then it creates a magnetic field B. And this magnetic field is capable of creating magnetic force on another charge. That means charge again creates field, field exert a force, similar to that of the electric interaction. But if the charge is not in motion, then magnetic field is not created. In the previous diagram, when the current passes through a conductor, the current is nothing but the flow of electrons. That means charges are in motion, electrons are in motion. And that's why they produce the magnetic field which exert a force on another charge. So when a charge q is moving with speed v in a uniform magnetic field B, then it experiences a force which is given by F is equal to Q into V cross B. Here, Q is the magnitude of the charge, V is the velocity of the charge, B is a magnetic induction. That means the force depends upon three factors: magnitude of the charge, its velocity, and magnetic strength, magnetic field strength. Suppose if we take electron, in that case the force is given by minus E into V cross B, because charge of electron Q is equal to minus E. So whenever a charged particle is in motion in a uniform magnetic field, it will experience a magnetic force. So magnetic force on a moving charge is given by Q into V cross B. If we write magnitude of this force, now we are familiar with the cross product of the two vectors A cross B. The magnitude of cross product is given by product of magnitude of each vector and sine of the smaller angle between them. So in that case, it becomes AB sine theta. Here it is V cross B, so it becomes VB sine theta. So magnitude of the force is given by QVB sine theta, where theta is a smaller angle between velocity vector and magnetic induction vector. Depending upon what is the angle between them, you can have different values of the force. Also, the direction of the force we can find by using right hand rule. So this is a right hand rule. We have to use the right hand rule to find the direction of the magnetic force. To find the direction, we have to curl over the fingers of the right hand from velocity vector to magnetic field induction vector. Then the outstretched thumb gives direction of the magnetic force on a given charge particle. So that is how we can find direction of the magnetic force on a given charge. From first vector to second vector, you have to curl the finger of the right hand. Then outstretched thumb gives direction of the magnetic force. Now, in that case the force will be always perpendicular to displacement, and that's why the work done by magnetic force on the moving charge is always zero. Now we can see here in the diagram the magnetic force, this force, and velocity are always mutually perpendicular, and that's why F dot V will become zero, and that means work done is zero, and that's why no work is done by magnetic force on the moving charge. Moving charges experience a magnetic force. The magnetic forces may change the direction of motion of the particle, but that never affect the speed. That means velocity's magnitude remain constant, but direction changes. And that's why you can say its direction will change, but magnitude remains same. Now magnetic field is given by F by QV. So from this we can find unit of magnetic induction. So we have the formula F by QV. Unit of force is Newton, charge is Coulomb, velocity is meter per second, and that gives us Newton second per Coulomb meter, which is given a new name, that is Tesla. So Tesla is a unit of magnetic induction. We can also define 1 Tesla. When the force is 1 Newton, charge is 1 Coulomb, moving with a velocity of 1 meter per second, then corresponding magnetic field becomes 1 Tesla. So we can define 1 Tesla as the magnetic field in which a charge of 1 Coulomb moving with a speed or velocity of 1 meter per second at right angle to the field experiences a force of 1 Newton. That is how we can define Tesla, 1 Tesla. Also, we have another unit of magnetic induction, Gauss. And the relation between SI unit, that is Tesla, and Gauss is 1 Tesla is 10 raised to 4 Gauss. So SI unit of magnetic field is Tesla. We can also find dimensions of the magnetic field. Again, we can use the same formula, dimension of force upon dimension of charge and velocity, and then simplifying this we get direction of dimensions of magnetic induction. Now suppose if electric and magnetic field both are applied on a charged particle which is in motion, then what happens? Then we have the total force is due to electric force and magnetic force. That means Q into E plus Q into V cross B. This is the electric force and this is a magnetic force. The net force will be F. So Fe plus Fm. This force, which is due to electric and magnetic field together, is known as Lorentz force. The Lorentz force, as we know, is given by this formula. And what are the consequences of this force? So if the velocity of the charged particle is parallel to magnetic field, the force will be zero, because if it is parallel, then theta will be zero, sine theta, sine zero will be zero. That means magnetic force will be zero, and that's why the total magnetic force will become zero. If the charge is stationary, again velocity is zero and magnetic force is zero, even though B is not zero. So these are the consequences of the Lorentz force. So that's it for today. Thank you, and we'll see you soon with the next topic. Thank you very much.